which was adopted by the government, but then in the parliament some, I think, changes were made that we very much regret. One point is that so far in Kosovo, the accountability for people responsible for public procurement processes was limited to one single person, the procurement officer, in a ministry or in any other budget organization. And usually this officer does not rank very highly in the hierarchy of a ministry. So it becomes then very easy for people higher up in this hierarchy to say, listen, we are not to be held accountable. It was this officer who is responsible for any wrongdoing. So we wanted to have this change, to have a minister or at least a permanent secretary responsible for public procurement processes, or at least accountable. But unfortunately this was removed in the parliament process. Public health, of course, is still some source for concern, where some health indicators, especially when it comes to maternal and child health, are still considered to be among the lowest in Europe. We have, of course, the issue with the north still, but this, I mean, it's something that we also acknowledge that it's difficult to change overnight by the authorities, if at all, because this is something where the central authorities clearly do not have authority over this region. So they're also still foregoing customs revenue. And despite the introduction of fiscal numbers and cashiers, which I think is a very good thing, which the tax administration has started to do, the informal sector is still very much present in Kosovo. I would like to leave it at this, and I would like to hand over to you, because I also just got the message that we have limited time available, so sorry if I took a bit too long. Yes, please.
I have a question on the economic front. You said that the tax will double this year compared to the last year, and you said that this is one of the strong points. On the other hand, you said that comparing to imports, this was not enough and you're not satisfied. So this is contradicting each other. So when you say that the ratio is very low, then this means that it was not double than many people as citizens don't understand that. So in my understanding, it's the same as receiving 200 euros for 1 month and to survive you need 500 euros. It's good to receive 200, but then you have 300 money. So how do you explain that?
Yes, no, you're absolutely right. I think on the whole, the situation on the trade balance is still far from satisfactory. The only thing, the methodology that we use in our progress report is that we compare this year's situation with last year's situation. But I think in the report itself, we also make this remark that, on the whole, of course, the situation is not good, and I think what we would like to see is a bit more exports, production, or services that take place. Also, because I think that in the long run, it might be difficult for Kosovo to sustain this high level of imports. How will you pay for it? Now they're paid for by large part by remittances that come in, some donor support as well. But I think in the end you need more of a productive base here in the country itself, or services that create income.
So there's no strong point regarding this.
Well, I mean, if you want to be negative, there is no strong point. But you know, I think that the workers in Thessaloniki will be very happy, and this is one of the biggest employers in Kosovo. So, yes, please.
Well, you mentioned earlier that Kosovo is planning on going into debt in the next couple of years. Are the investments currently being made in the intent of making money, or in the intent of improving the country as a whole?
Well, I think if you look at the biggest investment now, it's the highway, and I think there's a political reason for it, I guess, but at the same time, I can see also an economic reason for it, because it gives you access to the Adriatic. As I understood, there has already been this granting of a special economic zone by Albania, just north of the port of Durrës, which Kosovo could use. So I think this project, I hope, will also have economic benefits in the sense that it will be easier for Kosovo to reach the sea and to have a cheaper means of transport to the EU, I think, especially as our biggest trade partner. So I think that of course, there are also expenses that are made for political reasons, but I think that the government also certainly does have projects for long-term economic growth, and to have that in mind. Yes, please.
What do you, you said there's a very large informal economy, and is there a way to legalize or formalize that that informal economy, and what can be the large barriers to doing so?
Yes. Well, I think that one step in the right direction that the tax administration is doing right now is to issue fiscal numbers to all firms present in Kosovo, and also these fiscal cashiers, so that you get a ticket for every transaction that you have, basically. This system was introduced in Macedonia, I think about 8 years ago. And I'm not saying that there is no informal economy anymore in Macedonia. There still is, and it's still big, but I think it has been reduced, and in that sense I think this system is successful, because you, as a consumer, you have the right to ask for this ticket, and this then means that the firm in question has to pay VAT over this transaction, and I think this is necessary. Also, from a point of view of fiscal sustainability of the government, but also because what I hear also from what I heard from one foreign investor, that was actually one of the few investors I know that had really a greenfield investment near Parijsren. It was a Dutch company called Zinc Unie, and they said that they basically faced three obstacles. One was that they said that it was very difficult for a foreign company to get started here if you don't know anybody that knows their way. They had their managing director is a Kosovar guy, I think about now maybe end of his 20s, who with his parents went to the Netherlands and came back, so he knew everybody there still because he was from this region. But another bottleneck that they mentioned was that they were facing a lot of what they called unfair competition by those firms that were not paying their taxes, and that had a kind of unfair cost benefit like this. So I think this is the way forward: introduce these fiscal numbers, these fiscal cashiers, and also maybe explain to the people at large that in order to have a functioning government, you just need to pay taxes. There's no shortcuts here. Maybe some other questions. Yeah. Okay.
Just to pick up on this point, in order to have a functioning government, not just that, but people, if they pay taxes, they contribute towards their pension, they pay tax. In the course, it doesn't, if you pay pay taxes only 5% of your overall income, but in the future you won't have to sort of, you'll have to extend your hand to someone else if you have some backup plan. Is your office doing in that regards to promote that?
Yes, well, I don't think we have a project in that area, but we do mention it every year in our progress report under the economic criteria that we see a risk that because of this this low tax collection, there is this risk that public services like health, education, which are very important, especially for the young population here, are maybe under threat in the medium to long term. Yes.
You just mentioned education. In the progress report, it says that there has been little progress towards improving the quality of education and also improving basically the quality, the number of people that are being educated in higher instances. However, this year there has been a huge increase in thousands of students that have been accepted into the University of Pristina, as well as there has been the University of Prizren has been opened. Why is all this that has been invested or said so to be invested by the government has been regarded as little progress?
That's a good question. I'm not myself an expert on education, but I think if I remember by heart what